the actual emperor of Japan himself comes to visit Kaguya-Hime, because he was like, I heard there was a hot girl here. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name's Leanna if you're new, and welcome to episode 24 of Makeup and Mythology, a series I'm doing on my channel where I do my makeup and also tell you an ancient myth. And welcome to the first ponytail episode ever. I hardly wear ponytails on this channel, because if this hair in the back doesn't show up, then I look like a toe. Usually I don't really like wearing a ponytail for videos just because I think my hair looks better down, but today specifically, I just cannot be bothered with my hair, so let's just do it. Okay, so last week we covered the Yoruba deity, Oshun, the goddess of fertility, love, and rivers, and how humanity owes its entire existence to her. This week we are covering a Japanese folktale, The Tale of the Bamboo Cutter, which is a late 9th or early 10th century monogatari written in the Heian period by an unknown author. A monogatari, meaning tale or narrative, is basically a Japanese work of fiction written in the Heian period, developed from the storytelling of women in court. In-person storytelling was what people did before Netflix, and it was just as good. This Tale of the Bamboo Cutter is considered to be the oldest surviving work in monogatari form. Thanks so much to John for suggesting this one and watching every single episode. You're a real one. Let's jump right in. Once upon a time, there was an old bamboo cutter named Takatori no Okina, and one day in the bamboo forest, he came across a bamboo stalk unlike any other. It was shining and shrouded in a cloud of mystery that he couldn't help but go up to it and chop it down. So he cut it open, and inside this stalk of bamboo was an infant the size of a thumb. The old bamboo cutter and his wife, having no children of their own, took in this infant as their own daughter and named her Nayotaki no Kaguya-Hime, which translates to Shining Princess of the Young Bamboo. Her name is literally Shining Princess of the Young Bamboo, and my dad named me Leanna. If my name was Shining Princess of the Young Bamboo, I wouldn't know how to act. I would have such a big head, I'd be like, I'm a shining princess. Or maybe I'd get bullied in school, who knows? By some mystery, from that moment on, every time the old man cut down a stalk of bamboo, he found a small nugget of gold inside. So over time, the family became really wealthy. And just like Renesmee in Twilight, Kaguya-Hime grows from an infant into a full-grown, regular-sized woman of extraordinary beauty. But unlike Twilight, there are no shirtless werewolves here. I feel like with this kind of setup, there's no way a magical baby found in a bamboo stalk named Shining Princess of the Young Bamboo can grow up to be not beautiful. Like, imagine, an old bamboo cutter finds a magical infant baby in a bamboo stalk, names her Shining Princess of the Young Bamboo, and she grows up to be a hideous, ugly troll. No. So yeah, Kaguya-Hime grows up to be a hot girl. Her milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. Her dad tries to keep her on the DL, because he's rather protective of his beautiful daughter. But gossip spreads like wildfire. The old bamboo cutter has a hot daughter. The old bamboo cutter has a hot daughter. And it wasn't long before many suitors, far and wide, heard of her beauty and wanted her hand in marriage. Among all the suitors were 5 men of noble blood. Somehow these men managed to convince the old man to let his daughter pick from among them. Kaguya-Hime is like, ew, you're ugly, you're ugly, you're ugly, you're ugly, and you're ugly. Especially you. You're ugly. So she's like, okay, I'm gonna make up 5 impossible tasks for them to do and make them think that if they complete these tasks, they can marry me. But since they're virtually impossible, I don't have anything to worry about. They'll just give up and go away, or even better, die trying. So she assigns each of the nobles a task. She wants each of them to bring her a different item. The stone begging bowl of the Buddha, a jeweled branch from the mystical island of Horai, a robe of Chinese fire rat skins, a colored jewel from a dragon's neck, and a cowrie shell born from a swallow. Super easy to get all those things. You could just go to Walmart. So whoever comes back with their item first gets her hand in marriage. The first noble presents a fake stone bowl made from a blackened pot, but Kaguya-Hime notices that the bowl does not glow with holy light, so she was like, fake. Next. The second noble presents a branch created by the country's finest jewelers, but is exposed when the messenger of the craftsman arrives at Kaguya-Hime's house to collect payment for the counterfeit item, the expensive counterfeit item. The third noble is deceived by a merchant from China who sold him a robe that ended up not being fireproof. The fourth noble set out to find a dragon at sea, but gave up after encountering a storm. And the fifth noble fell from a great height while reaching into a swallow's nest. So 1 was a scammer, 2 was a rich scammer, 3 was dumb, 4 was horny but not that horny, and number 5 was the horniest of them all. He was very determined. At least he tried. He really tried, you know? Honestly, if I was trying to find a good guy by assigning impossible tasks, I would just see who tried the hardest. After this entire ordeal, the actual Emperor of Japan himself comes to visit Kaguya-Hime, because he was like, I heard there was a hot girl here. Never mind my duties as Emperor, I just care about seeing the hot girl. So he comes in person, he's like, where's the hot girl? Where's the hot girl? I want to see the hot girl. And of course, after seeing her for the very first time, he falls in love instantly and asks her to marry him, to which she says, no. But I think she likes him, because she doesn't make him attempt an impossible task. She tells him that the reason that she can't marry him is because she's not from his country, and therefore cannot go to the palace with him. But they remain in the talking phase for 3 years, and send each other letters and stuff. So 3 years pass, and that summer, Kaguya-Hime is out in the garden at night pretty frequently, looking at the moon, crying, you know, as women do. Her parents worry about her and ask her what's wrong, but she refuses to tell them anything, and she starts behaving erratically. So she's angsty for a while. And finally, after some time, she tells her parents that she isn't from Earth, and must return to her people on the moon. In some versions of this story, it's said that she was sent to Earth as a punishment for some crime, and that's why she was found in that bamboo stalk. Like she used to be a goddess or something, and then she was incarnated as a human to live a life on Earth. And this is a pretty common theme in Chinese myths and legends as well. Like when a deity does something bad, they're sent to go be human, because being human is suffering. There's a lot of pain that we mortals have to go through. There's poverty and sickness and death and lots of other things that gods and goddesses don't have to even think about. Or if it's not a punishment, it's just kind of like a trial. Like after you live a life in Earth and then experience what it's like to, you know, suffer and stuff, you like get to be a more powerful, or a god, you get like promoted or whatever. At least that is something that's pretty common in Chinese dramas. So she was either sent down to Earth as like a punishment, or like, you know, for a trial or something like that, or some other versions cite that she was sent to Earth for her safety during a celestial war. And the gold that the bamboo cutter found in the stalks of bamboo was a stipend from the people of the moon to take care of Kaguya-Hime. Eventually, it came time for her to go back to the moon. She told the emperor about this as well, and on the day that she was supposed to return, he actually sent his guards to prevent her from going with the moon's people. As if a bunch of palace guards would like know what to do to like protect her from like being taken away by like, magical moon people. This kind of reminds me of like how in superhero movies, the government is always trying to like fight the supervillain with like a bunch of armed forces or whatever, and then you're just sitting there in the audience like, what is that gonna do? Like, that's so stupid. Or like maybe not superhero movies, but like, you know, fantasy movies where like they're like fighting aliens or whatever. I don't know, I don't watch a lot of those kinds of movies. So yeah, the emperor sending a bunch of his guards. A futile effort. Can't blame him for trying, you know, he's in love. So the heavenly embassy comes down upon the bamboo cutter's house, and sure enough, the guards are blinded by a strange light as the moon people descend. Kaguya-Hime announces to everyone that although she loves her many friends on Earth, it's finally time for her to go home. She writes apology letters to her parents and to her lover, the emperor, and gives her parents her robe as something to remember her by. She then takes a tiny bit of the immortality elixir and attaches the rest to her letter to the emperor, perhaps in the hopes that they would meet again. She gives the letter and the immortality elixir to the guard officer, the main guard guy, and as she's handing it to him, one of the celestial beings places a feather robe on her shoulders, and in an instant, all of her sadness and compassion for mankind was instantly forgotten. As mortals, we form a lot of attachments to people, places, and things, and when we lose people and things that we care about, it hurts real bad. So when she got the feather robe put on her, she just shed all those attachments and was freed from pain, mortal pain. And she ascended with the embassy to go back to Suki no Miyako, the capital of the moon. As for her adoptive parents, they became very sad and very sick, and that's kind of it. It's really sad. The emperor gets a report of what happened from his chief officer and gets the items that Kaguya-Hime left for him. Damn, he couldn't even come see the woman that he loved literally like float into the sky and leave the earth. Was he that busy? Was he that busy? He wasn't that busy. nobody is that busy to the point they can't come see their girlfriend fly into the sky. Like, how often does that happen? The emperor reads her letter and is overcome with grief. He asks his servants which mountain is the closest to heaven. One of them suggests the great mountains of Suraga province, and the emperor orders his men to take the letter and the immortality elixir and burn them. He didn't want to live without her. Even though she literally gave the elixir to him in the hopes that one day they might be able to, like, meet again, and he's like, no, I don't want to. I don't want to live another day without you. He's like, I'm burning it. I guess, like... It is said that the word for immortality, Fushi, became the name of this mountain, Mount Fuji. It is also said that the kanji for the mountain, which translate literally to mountain abounding with warriors, are derived from the emperor's army climbing the mountain to carry out his command to burn the letter and the immortality elixir. In the past, when Mount Fuji was a much more active volcano and produced a lot of smoke, it was said that the smoke was from the burning of the letter and the elixir. So, that's the end of the story. What's the moral? I actually looked it up because I genuinely didn't know and I was kind of curious. And apparently it's that people of different statuses, you know, girl from the moon, human emperor, they don't belong together. People of different statuses don't belong together. And honestly, I think that moral falls a little bit flat. It's a little bit underwhelming, you know? It's like, really? That's it? I probably would have guessed that it was to not get too attached to things because they're all temporary, or like appreciate the time that you have because it won't last forever, or, you know, something like that. Or maybe it's that you should go see your girlfriend if she's floating up into the sky and you're never gonna see her again. I don't know why I'm so upset about that. He didn't even go! Anyway, that was a bit of a sad story, but enjoyable regardless. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!
Sunshine, never mind, oh, bring me all of your gray skies. The moonlight never seems so bright until it's the only source of all of your light. Oh, someone's calling, it's not me, they'll scream and talk about your day.